Hey guys, Shock here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be profiling for you my Utopic Burning Abyss deck for the November 2021 format with the October ban list. Really quickly, just a little bit about the deck. I think Burning Abyss is in a really good spot. There's a lot of hand traps right now that don't really affect Burning Abyss a whole lot, and I think with a lot of the cards back for Burning Abyss and new cards that came out, Burning Abyss can really abuse Link monsters and XYZ monsters pretty much to their full potential. So without further ado, let's get into it and I'll show you guys what I'm running. We'll also be showing a combo tutorial at the end of the video. Cool, so let's start with the main deck. No side deck for this list. We'll just go main deck and extra. So your obligatory tour guide. Only two in this list because Valor and Imperm are super popular right now. You never really want to open this card and use it as an opening play. Sometimes it does happen where you have to, but in general, you want to be summoning Burning Abyss monsters or any of the other cards I'm about to show you. Speaking of other cards, we're playing the 3 Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Now, Rhino Warrior has a huge problem losing to things like Imperm and Valor, but what's nice about Rhino is that it is a great card that you can mill with Dante, which is mainly what we use this card for. When we have to normal summon it, we do, but in general, I would say that this card is really, really strong when you can mill it. And also discarding it off of your discard traps, being able to send a Graph, a Seer, or a Skarm to the graveyard to get advantage, or anything like an Alec or a Farfa or a Calcab to disrupt, Barbar to burn, Libic to summon from hand. There's so many options in this deck. But yeah, you do have to watch out for these 5 cards for Effect Failure and Infinite Impermanence. Getting on to the more resilient part of the deck, we are playing the 3 Graph and the 3 Seer. These cards are so good, being able to play through hand traps, play around hand traps, get you extra advantage for free. They're so strong. I usually wasn't playing Seer in copies of 3 before, but now with this specific list you do. And basically the way that you achieve the Utopic Future Drago blah 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 card. There's so many there's so many dang words in these cards. Yeah, the Utopic Draco Future card actually is you summon Dante with either one of these cards, and then you mill. You go for your mill like your normal play. Normally your 2-card combo is any BA plus like Graph or Rhino. Gets you IP with Beatrice, but if you do it this way and you mill the Graph or the Rhino or even the Seer, a lot of times you can hit either another copy of the Graph or the Rhino or the Seer to get you into your double Dante play, which gets you into your Utopic engine. So that's basically the main idea for this deck. Going on to the cards that aren't 100%, like you don't need to resolve them, but they're helpful. The 3 Skarm, it's really nice to summon from the deck or to send from the deck to the grave to get that search effect at the end phase. Really strong. I think you should play 3. Also really good to discard 3 Farfa, just because you need to be able to banish your opponent's threats to kill them. 2 Libic, because Libic lets you summon from the hand, and then the 1 Alec, because it's Effect Failure, and you can get it to the graveyard really easily. Finally, we are playing 1 Calcab, and I dropped my 1 copy of Barbar. So Calcab and Barbar are my last 2 Burning Abyss monsters. I believe that's something like 17 Burning Abyss monsters, like absolutely crazy, with the 5 non-BA normal summons. So that's it for the monsters. Quite a bit of Burning Abyss, but you really want to get to that consistent opening play. Another really good opening play is if you open like 2 non-BA name or 2 BA names that you really don't care about, and 1 Rhino. This also helps you play through hand traps as well. So you can just summon these 2, make a Dante, normal summon this, mill with a Dante, see if you get anything good, and then you can link with Rhino. So there's that. Hand traps, because you need to play hand traps, unfortunately. 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Effect Failure, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. These are just the most relevant hand traps I feel like in the meta right now. So that's why I'm playing them, and you'll see that across the board pretty much in most of my decks. Continuing on with the trap cards, what's really nice about this deck, and I've talked about this before on my channel, but BA can play discard traps like very easily, and they have very powerful effects. So Phoenix Wing Wind Blast and Paleo Dynamiscus are outs to Mystic Mine in this list, as well as discard cards for your Seer or your Skarm or your Graph or your Rhino. There's just so many targets you can discard with this card. So overall, they're really powerful. This hits set cards, this doesn't hit set cards, but it's overall more powerful and has a graveyard effect. Then we are playing the 2 Fiendish Rhino Warriors and the, no, Fiendish Rhino Warrior, pardon me, the 2 Fiend Griefings, my bad. And then the 2 Trap Trick. Yeah, I think the card on here is actually, it's like a Fabled monster, I can't remember which one. It's the Elephant Fabled monster that you discard, it's special from hand. Especially from grave, I mean. But yeah, no, this card, incredible. It's a +1. Really good against like things like Tri-Brigade or Drytron, being able to take a card from your opponent's graveyard and put it back into the deck, as well as sending something like an Alec or a Skarm or literally anything. It's great for that engine. And then the Trap Trick, it's insane too, because it gets you any of your trap cards that you kind of wanted to have access to. The nice thing too is that if you have any of your trap cards besides Infinite Impermanence, you're actually able to play through Nibiru, and that's kind of why we play these trap cards. So the whole idea is make your play as best as possible. If they Nibiru you, then what you can do is set one of these cards, any one of these cards, and then, you know, whether it be something or other, you're going to have a disruption with these cards, and you're going to get your engine back by probably getting a tour guide back from deck to hand. Yeah, there's just so many ways to kind of trigger your Burning Abyss monsters, and those cards are just absolutely nuts. So on the extra deck, we're running 2 Dantes. Dante is obviously one of the most iconic and best extra deck monsters of all time. Not much to say about it. You could run 3, but I really don't go into this card unless I'm doing my opening play or I'm doing a recovery play. Which I guess that's the only time the third one can come up, since you do use 2 of these in certain opening plays. But besides that, it's still a really good card. The 1 Beatrice and the 1 Pilgrim, you don't need to play more. I think 1 target's fine for Beatrice, and then obviously you can only play the 1 Beatrice. Yeah, some people even cut the Pilgrim, to be honest with you, and I don't blame them. But overall, I think these are 2 good additions in the deck. One of the main combos to defend yourself. Something that's new, and I think is kind of fun to play in this list, is the Utopic Draco Future combo, where you can make 2 Dantes, slap this on top, and then summon this card. It's just like a nice boss monster for Burning Abyss to make for free. And then if this card gets off the field, you're going to get both your Dante's effects to get back 2 cards. Overall, really strong. Finally, the 1 Downard and the 1 Zeus, because we're just always making a bunch of XYZ monsters. If you really want to, there's definitely room in this deck to to add 1 more Zeus, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but I feel like the games are going to go kind of quick with this deck. You can grind, but I think overall the games are going to go quicker than you would think they would. Anyways, on to the XYZs, the links, pardon me. The 1 Cherubini, obviously extremely strong. The 1 Gravity Controller for the Seer plus a Burning Abyss play, and the 1 IP for your standard Graph plus Burning Abyss play to end on IP Beatrice. Then you're playing the 2 Nightmare cards, the 1 Phoenix and the 1 Unicorn. I used to play Cerberus in this deck. It's still really good, but kind of made room for the Utopic engine. The 1 Appaloosa and the 1 Boral Sword to finish off the extra deck. Okay, let's look at this quick combo I got for you. So essentially what it takes is any Burning Abyss card like Seer, Graph, or Rhino, and then a Farfa, or literally anything else. Let's just put 3 random cards in our hand for fun. So this is the combo. You're not guaranteed to get this, but what's the nice thing about this is that if it happens, great. If it doesn't, you're still fine. And this will kind of give you an example of why you'll still be fine. So, normal summon Seer, special summon Farfa, nothing crazy there. And then you're going to go ahead and overlay these. Make sure you put them into the extra deck monster zone. That's pretty much how you're always going to play with this deck. You always want to go into the extra deck monster zone with Dante, just because of gravity controller. But if you're feeling kind of spicy, like, so the conservative play here is to mill with Dante, see if you get like a Graph or something, or a Rhino. If you do, great. If you don't, you still have the link away with the Dante in the extra deck monster zone into a gravity controller, and then you can kind of go from there. But since we're high rollers here, and since we have a follow-up of a copy of Dynamiscus in our hand, we can actually play around Nibiru and actually not care, and do a different IP play that you'll see here in a second. So we're going to detach Seer, and for the purposes of this, we're going to pretend that we milled, I don't know, let's just say 2 copies of Rhino and then 1 blank slot, so 1 Farfa, okay? These mills right here, and then this is our graveyard. So let's just say that we did these mills, 2 copies of Rhino and then 1 Farfa. So obviously you can only trigger one Rhino, you can only trigger the Seer once, but basically with this variation of the combo, you need to mill Burning Abyss, and we play so many Burning Abysses that it's not a big deal, and then Rhino will trigger. So you're going to want to chain block, you're going to want to go Rhino Chainlink 1, Seer Chainlink 2, target Farfa, and then from there you're off to the races. So you're going to use Rhino, well, Seer is going to trigger first to summon out the Farfa, and then Rhino is going to send a Graph. So Graph is going to go to the grave, and you can summon, in this case you would want to go for a Skarm. You would want to overlay these at this point, and then, you know, in this specific scenario, you really want to mill Dante, since you pretty much hit everything you that was valuable to you anyways. So extra deck monster zone, non-extra deck monster zone, you're going to go ahead and overlay both of these Dantes, get rid of all their materials, and go into a F0, and then from there you're able to go into a Utopic Drago Future, which is a pretty cool card. So what's nice about it is that it gives Burning Abyss a nice boss monster, in that it can't be destroyed by card effects, and yeah, it can, by battle or card effects actually, which is really nice. Targeting obviously affects it, but you can negate those effects. So this thing's only basically weak to like something like a Forbidden Chalice or whatever, which can come up for sure, but overall I do like this card. I think it is pretty decent, kind of fun to like steal your opponent's cards and kind of kill them with your opponent's cards. Anyways, so say for example, if you can't get this card out before they Nibiru you, and then say for example they Nibiru you on like maybe the second Dante summon, or maybe even the first Dante summon. Let's say they Nibiru you on the first Dante summon, and you don't even get these cards out, right? Or worst case scenario, if they have like a Veiler and a Nib, and they get rid of your Utopic Future. Let's say we only trigger 1 Dante, just to like have it in the worst case scenario. You're gonna go ahead and use Dante to add back the Graph. And even though this doesn't seem great, you still have the Dynamiscus plus the Graph. And that's what pretty much all of your other trap cards in your deck do. Besides the infinite impermanence, you play 9 of them that allow you to start your engine back up just by setting a Dynamiscus simply. And let's just say these are blank cards in your hand. During your opponent's turn, you can use Dynamiscus to banish your opponent's card, discard the Graph, go get Skarm. And since we're ending our turn anyways, we would have used our Skarm that we got off of our Graph earlier that turn to get the tour guide anyways. So not only would you have a tour guide to follow up for next turn, but you would use Paleo Dynamiscus, probably 2 of them, one to discard your Dynamiscus, and then the other one to discard your Graph to get literally anything. Yeah, anyways, that'll pretty much do it for the list. I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from with this list. You don't have to play these cards, but I think they're cool. I just kind of want to show you show you what they could do, and then like how Burning Abyss can like play through like a lot of hand traps and stuff like that. I think overall it's like really strong, this format. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.